This episode of Love Larn is sponsored by Mopart Saws.
Hey, it's Michael here from Love Larn. Thanks as always for joining me. I've got a couple of engines here. This one's ready to go. This one's still got a clutch half on it, so we're going to get that pulled off today. So we've got some important tools here to get us going, mainly our socket. I've also just got an extension on there, just to give us a little bit of reach down past the side of that clutch half. This clutch half has a cotter pin and a little retaining bolt, so I've got two different size sockets. This is a 9/16 and a 3/8. Hammer always comes in handy, and a little cat's paw crowbar. Block of wood, might need that. Another block of wood, might need that. I believe this to be one of the original old school cast iron clutch halves. Just feels heavy, looks a little bit more solid than the aluminium ones. Not sure. Just turn that around. If you can see, I've got a cotter pin on here and a little retaining bolt. Now what I did last night, came out here and plugged every little nook and cranny that I could find on this thing with some WD-40 just to start loosening up any rust and basically just to allow some movement through some of these fixings. So there's a little lock nut on here. I've already loosened that off, so I'm just going to go to town. This is a square head retaining bolt on there, but my 3/8 socket fits on there. I'm backing that right off just to avoid marring the shaft. Swing that around. We've got our cotter pin here as well. So we'll swap out to the 9/16, and that fits over there. Now the cotter pin, this is a captive cotter, so it is wrapped around that shaft, so it's not going to come out of here all the way. It's already been backed off a little bit by the looks of it. But what I do need to do is try and knock it down a little bit so that the cove section is sitting alongside the shaft rather than being drawn up tight against the shaft. Got a little block of wood here. A little tap tap. Not sure if that's really moving, but let's see. Now, that clutch half feels like it's on there pretty firmly. God knows when the last time was that it came off. So I've got my little pry bar here, cat's paw, and I'm just going to reach it down between the block of the engine and the end of the clutch half here, and just work evenly to try and shift that along. Not sure how far it's going to get. Might need some extra leverage in there as well. There we go. See if you can see that WD-40 has worked its way into that shaft. And this is our clutch half. It's come off nice and easily. Now it's definitely got a bit of weight to it. I mean, they normally do anyway, but this definitely feels a little bit on the heftier side. Our bearings sitting in there, of course. Give that shaft a little wipe. So there's a bit of damage to this shaft here. It looks like this retaining pin has been sitting right up against that shaft. And as far as I can tell, there's no key in here. There's definitely no key in the shaft, and looking down that key slot, there's some grime, I think, and no key. So normally that retaining bolt will be bearing against the key rather than the engine shaft. This cotter pin now comes out of there. And of course, it normally sits up nice and tight against that shaft. And when you tighten this bolt up, it draws the whole thing up just a whisker so that it's sitting nice and tightly and holding really firmly against that shaft. Now, in speaking with George from Bonnar Fabrication and Parts, he reckons the cotter pin is the way to go instead of the retaining bolt. He makes some awesome kit. And I'm going to take his word on that because he knows what he's talking about. The retaining bolt was, according to mythology, an improvement made by Rover when they bought Scott Bonnar and made some improvements for their Larn. Usually you see 2 retaining bolts instead of the Cotter and the 1 retainer. But George reckons that you get a much better grip with a Cotter pin than the retaining bolt. Well, that's it for today, guys. We got that clutch half off successfully. Didn't take too much effort in the end, so lucky me, lucky day. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Feel free to hit like if you enjoyed today's video. Leave a comment or a question down below in the video description. And don't forget, you can also find us on Facebook and Instagram. We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.